Hey guys, Orphan Talks has finally made its way back. We're in the kitchen today and not the bedroom. I thought it would be really exciting if we moved rooms. What I'm going to talk to you today about is how to self publish a book and the processes of the steps. What are the do's, and most importantly, what are the don'ts? And first, I'm going to begin with a story of the very first publishing company I spoke to, and included in this story are all the don'ts when it comes to self publishing. I called this company on what happened to be a Friday, and I ended up talking for about a half hour to this woman, my self publishing consultant, and she was telling me all about this great package they had going on right now for $850. It was the 50% sale was on when I called, and by the end of the call, once you get kind of seduced by the idea of publishing your book, oh, by the way, the sale is over tomorrow. It goes back up to full price, $1,700. So the contract I'm about to send you, I hope you'll sign it by the end of the day because I hope I don't have to come in tomorrow on Saturday. I was actually told that over the phone. So therein lies all the don'ts of self-publishing. Number one, don't sign a contract to begin with. Every contract given to you by a self-publishing company is going to be one-sided, favors them completely, has no upside for you. It is only going to do things like take your rights away and just, like, for instance, if your book does really well, it's like then you want to bring it to a major publisher, it's going to prevent you from doing things like that, or you're going to have to pay your self-publisher a lot of royalties or some kind of penalty to let them out of the contract. It's just got disaster written all over it. And when I eventually made a deal, of course there was no contract, and it made me wonder why does anybody sign a contract? And I guess new authors probably just don't know any better. They're just so drunk off writing their book and they just can't wait to launch it, and they're getting so excited talking to some random publisher they found online. They'll just like, oh my God, I'm going to be published, and then they just sign something and they have no idea what they just signed, and they just end up regretting it, or if they get lucky, nothing will change. But there are companies out there that don't ask you to sign a contract and they let you keep all your rights, and that's the way to do business. So whatever you do, don't sign a contract. Next thing is, within that contract, talked about the reading fee this company charged, $400. I can pay them the $850, and if they don't want to use my book, I only get $450 back. Now, you should not have to pay a reading fee to a major publisher, or especially to a self-publisher, where you are paying them to do what you want. So don't pay a reading fee. Not everyone charges it. It's just, why would people pay a reading fee? They probably, the same reason as why they sign a contract. They just don't know any better. A lot of these companies are just trying to take advantage of authors and just take advantage of people who they know want to have their work published. And that kind of leads into, the next important thing is like, just filling out your publisher. Do they even care about you in the first place, or are you just a dollar sign? I mean, that lady saying to me, I hope you sign the deal so I don't have to come in tomorrow. I think that tells you everything you need to know as to who she's really interested in. And I'm not going to do business that way. I mean, it's like, it was really, I was stuck trying to find a publisher for months because every publisher I spoke to was like this. I didn't feel like they cared about me. So, you got to feel out your publisher and just, are they happy to answer your questions, or they sound annoyed? Most of the ones I spoke to, they sounded annoyed, like they didn't even want to talk. They just wanted me to make the deal. So, the whole deadline thing, I mean, one day to the next, I mean, that was pretty extreme. But like, as the other companies I spoke to, there was a lot of deadlines with them as well. Like 1 week, 2 weeks, it's $2,200 today, but in a week it'll be $2,500. Listen, be assertive with them. Don't fall for any of that crap. You tell them, if you make a deal after their deadline, you tell them, look, this is what I'm paying, and if you're not taking it, then we don't have a deal. And they'll make the deal because they want the sale. They're trying to sell for as much as they can to see if you'll give into it, because they know how badly you want to publish your book. So no reading fee, no contract. Get a sense. Just listen to your heart. Listen to your intuition. Get a sense if they care about you, and don't fall for their nonsense. Those are really the most important things. It took me so long to find a publisher I liked, because there was this site I finally came across. I think it's selfpublishingadvice.org. It's run by a site called Ally, ALLI, and there's a lot of valuable information about how to self-publish, and including recommended companies and companies they don't recommend. Every company I spoke to was red flagged on their site. And then they found, and then there was a site recommended called Palmetto, Palmetto. Palmetto Publishing Group. They're in South Carolina. They had an A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau. These were the guys I ended up making a deal with because there was no contract, there was no reading fee, there was no deadline. They were happy to talk to me. They were happy to answer my questions. I felt a real connection. I mean, like, this is my book. This is my baby. You know, before you just give your baby away, right, it's got to be perfect. And do not settle for anything. Now, when it comes to royalties, Palmetto doesn't take any of your royalties, which a lot of companies might make themselves seem appealing that way because they don't keep any of your money. That sounds great, but you know the only trade-off to that is just now you're the only one who cares if your book sells. So it's really just a matter of preference. And also, I should mention that first company I spoke with, they were going to keep 75% of my royalties. So they're keeping 3/4 of the money I make, $400 reading fee in case I don't even want the book, hard sell one day to the next, contract, sign it by today. I mean, it's like you have got to be joking. So they were by far the worst ones I spoke to, but the ones after that weren't much better. And when I got Palmetto on the phone, I was just kind of like blown away. It's like, how is anybody else in business knowing you guys do business the way you do? But, you know, it's just with all the desperation out there, it's just not everybody finds out about them. So you get, you know, do your research and just follow those, just follow the tips I gave you, you know, so that way you don't make a deal you regret and it doesn't take you months to find someone you like. So I think that's all, guys. I'm going to show you my book. It's right here. Why the fuck did I do that? Let Love Be Your Motivation can be found on Kindle, on Amazon. It's still kind of a pain in the ass typing in the title because of the star, but in the search it should come up by the first or second page, or you could just type in my last name, Arfin, A-R-F-I-N. And all right, guys, thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. I hope this helps, and good luck publishing.